Good morning or good afternoon, coaches. This is Coach Anthony Williams, founder and CEO of Connected Athletics, which is a new startup company based here in Austin, Texas. Our focus, our platform as a company is to connect athletes with other athletes, connect athletes with college coaches during the recruiting process, and then help athletes develop their brand as they go through high school, college, and then after their game is over into a career. We've got another exciting prospect with us today. Trevor Tezak is a class of 21 running back from here in the Austin area at Regents School of Austin. He has a great GPA of 3.5. He's got community awards. He's second team all district. Trevor, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing great, Coach. How are you?
I'm great. Hey, I want to thank you for your time. Let's just jump right into it here. You and I were just talking. We're in this unprecedented COVID-19 environment right now. Tell these coaches a little bit about what you're doing to stay in shape and get ready for the fall season.
Right now, I have some weights in my garage. I've been doing those every single day, doing sprinting drills, cones, the ladder, practicing my 40-yard dash, and doing a lot of stairs and jump rope.
Okay. Are you working out by yourself? Are you practicing social distancing?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Hey, before we get into the rest of this, I'd like to bring up your highlight video, which I really enjoyed watching. And I'd like to turn you into Tony Romo and just kind of commentate a little bit about some of these plays and who you're playing and that kind of thing, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, let me share my screen and then confirm it when you can see it. All right, can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go through
it. So this is Trinity Christian. This is the state game. And this team right here is Cypress. This was the first game of the season. And I pretty much just saw that those linebackers come down, so I bounced outside and got a good touchdown. This was Second Baptist. This was the state semifinal game. Kind of that pitch and then just followed my blocker's butt into the gap I saw. This is that same play, just on the goal line. And as you can see, I follow my lineman's butt and just punched it in for the touchdown. This was Lutheran South. This was the second round of playoffs. I felt that pressure of that DN come down, so I bounced inside and then kept running up the field as far as I could. It's another play, the same team, that second round. I followed my butts and ran as fast as I could up that middle. Same team as well.
Trevor, you show a lot of good patience. Talk to me about sometimes letting your linemen get to their blocks and setting up your blocks. Talk to me about your relationship with your linemen.
It's very good, Coach. Just like this play right here, I waited for my lineman to pick up that first man downfield, and for me to – that's pretty much what all of our run plays are, is up the middle and following that button. That's what the main thing our coach has been drilling into us since day one, is being patient and following our linemen.
You put up some pretty big numbers. You obviously have a good-sized line. Are most of those guys coming back, or have they graduated?
We have 3 remaining starters coming back with us today. And this is Wimberley ISD. This is a 4A state runner-up, and we're playing against them.
Trevor, talk to me about the importance of ball security. When you run up the middle and you got all these hands going after the ball, what kind of focus do you put on make sure you hold on to
it? Double up. That's the main thing I do. Double up and then stay low. I just always keep my feet driving.
Trevor, you have good vision. Talk to me about the importance of having a great vision as a running back.
I think it's going to carry on just with my skill set of being powerful, being able to read those blocks and bounce off and make bigger plays. This is that same play. I'm just following my lineman as much as I could and then hitting that gap for that touchdown. This is just a defensive play, just showing just physicality and just the power that I can have.
Okay, so Mike, you play both ways. Talk to us about a little bit about that. What position?
I've been versatile player. I'm one of the few Iron Man on our team. Play both ways. I played defensive tackle for a little bit, but mainly running back.
Okay. Make this our last play here. Get in the end zone, north and south.
So
Hey, so I'm going to freeze it right here and come back to you. Got some questions after watching that. Every time I interview a running back, and I'll share the same thing with you, Trevor, you have great plays with the ball in your hand, but one of the things that I know college coaches want to see is a running back in pass protection, stepping up and taking on a blitzing linebacker or safety. I know we didn't see it there, but just talk about that. Talk about a few examples of how you handle yourself in the passing game.
So not just at running back, they moved me to a slot receiver, which I would motion down back into the line, and I'd be blocking defensive ends and the linebackers and filling those gaps when they'd rush down, just giving the quarterback more time.
Okay. And then we didn't see it, I know there was some later in the film, but we didn't see you catching the ball in the backfield. Tell us a little about your pass catching skills.
They're just as good as my double up skills and pressure.
Okay. All right, great. Well, let's switch gears here. Let's talk about your strong academics. You're showing the 3.5 GPA. Tell us a little bit about the importance you put on your academics.
I've always worked hard ever since kindergarten. I've been lucky to have been raised in a private school, and my parents have drilled in me that academics is first before everything, and that I really truly believe that academics are going to take me farther than football ever will. So,
What are some of your favorite subjects? Are you a math guy, science, reading, English? What?
I'm a science guy. That's what I like the best.
Okay. Chemistry, biology. Thinking about being a doctor down the road, or where do you see this going?
Chemistry. That's what I'm in right now, and I just think it's so fascinating for all the different parts of everything, chemicals and everything.
Okay. Hey, as you go into your senior year, tell us about some of your strengths as a player and some of the things you're going to work on in your senior season.
I definitely think my strength is my vision and my power. I don't stop my feet when I hit contact. I always fall forward, and I think I'm really agile, and I'm able to move around in mess really. And I think some of my weaknesses are, well, I'm working more on my agility and strength and speed work. That's what I'm doing this off season. It's just trying to get better at everything I can. That's the best as I can.
Okay. There's a lot of good running backs in the class of 21. Tell us how you differentiate yourself from those other running backs.
I think my power and size. I think that's the two main things that I carry on my back that the other ones don't.
Okay. Well, also, I like how you kind of you don't waste time. You're kind of a north-south runner, kind of one cut and go. You mentioned it earlier about your patience and let your block set up. Talk to us about how the offense is set up for you to really be patient as a running back.
So what we do is I work with the O-line off season and during practice for about 80% of that practice time. We are building that connection with me and my O-linemen and building that trust that we have with each other. And so that's the main thing I feel like is having my connection with my O-linemen and thanking them for everything they do.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about recruiting. Who are you hearing from? Who do you want to hear from? And, when do you think you'll make your final decision on your commitment?
I mean, like we said earlier before this, I would love to hear from like Big 12 teams. And like D1 is what I would prefer to do, but I would love to stay in Texas. If I don't get recruited at all, I'll always try to walk on whatever school I go to. I love the game of football, and that's just I would prefer that to come later than sooner. So.
Okay, understood. You mentioned about your love of football. It's one of the questions college coaches like to hear. Why do you love playing football?
I love the physicality, and especially the brotherhood. It brings all of my football friends together, closer together, and it really has a sense of responsibility in my life of balancing academics and just balancing football together.
I like it. You kind of got into the next question I have for you. Tell me a little bit about some of the life skills you've learned from playing this great game of football.
Responsibility, and the coaches have really poured into us about being respectful as men in general. Manners comes first before everything. So that's one of the life skills that they've taught me.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about, you guys had a lot of success at Regents. Tell me a little bit about your relationship with your position coach, maybe your offense coordinator or your head coach.
All my coaches are very cohesive. They've been around at Regents since I've been in kindergarten. Since I was a young age, they've always been there, and since they've seen me growing up, I've seen them coach for my entire life, and they truly like believe in becoming a man before football player first. So.
Okay. Talk to me a little bit about your kind of the non-football staff. What relationship do you have with like the trainers, your teachers, counselors, other people at Regents?
All my teachers, they always are trying to preach Christ before anything else as well.
Love it.
And my trainers, they're always fun to hang around with. I love hanging out with them all the time.
Right. Talk to us about, have you always been at Regents, always been at a private school, or were you ever at a public school?
I was always at Regents, coach.
Mhm. Tell me about, to be honest here, your relationship and how you're in a Christian school. How does that differ from some of the stories you're hearing from some of your friends that maybe go to a public school? Talk to us about being a Christian student athlete.
I think the bubble is a lot more tighter. I think that we are everyone, not just football, all the players were able to connect through at least one thing, and that's God. So that's what we all live by.
I like it. I like hearing that. What are some of the things you're looking forward to as a student athlete at the college level now that you're finishing up high school?
Just the added responsibility and more, especially going on my own in this next level. That's probably the biggest thing for me is being able to balance academics and balance football.
Okay. Who's going to be involved with you in helping your decision on where you'll end up making your commitment and going to college at?
Definitely my family members, my dad, my mom, and my sister. We're all very close-knit family, and we all live in each other's business.
Where are you as far as, are you a baby? Are you the child of the family? Are you the oldest? Are you a single child? Where are you at?
Yes, sir. I'm the baby of the family.
Okay. Tell me a little about your family background, mom and dad and siblings. Were any of them other athletes at the college level or coaches or anything?
My dad, he did bike racing at the college level at Texas State. And then my sister was athletic trainer at Regents, the school we went to. And now she's at Kansas State, and she's doing her master program for athletic training there.
Oh, that is awesome. Okay. Tell me a little bit about some of the things you plan on doing outside of football. What are your hobbies? What do you do when you're not working out or playing football? You like to hunt? You like to fish? You like to be on the lake? What do you do in your spare time?
I love bird hunting, fishing. I like hanging out with my sister. She's very cool. I like hanging out with my Bible study friends, and I watch the show The Office. That's one of my favorite shows, so I'll spend some of my time doing that, and spend time with my girlfriend Hannah as well.
Okay. Are you a video game guy? What video games are you playing to kill time?
I'll play Call of Duty.
Okay. And then as far as apps on your cell phone, are you a Twitter guy, Instagram? Are you into TikTok now? What do you do on your phone?
I'll go on Twitter and Instagram and like Snapchat.
Okay. Tell me, are you a shoe guy? You got a big shoe game in your closet, or where are you there?
Not really. I've had the same shoes for about 2.5 years, coach.
Nothing wrong with that, man. Hey, let's say somebody's going to see you play for the first time this fall at Regents. Who are you in your game going to remind them of? What running back are you patting yourself off of, either at the college or the pro level?
I have two. I like Earl Campbell. I've kind of looked at him as my idol. I got a picture of him in my room. I kind of feel like I resemble him a little bit with just being powerful and just taking dudes out. That's my favorite thing about him. Mm-hmm. And then Philip Lindsay for the Broncos. Just his story kind of reminds me of mine as well. Mm-hmm. Just being like overlooked and him being able to start at the end of the season, just proving himself to everybody.
You mentioned being overlooked. Tell me how that motivates you as you get ready for your senior season and in the past seasons.
So I've kind of had a lot of adversity going through running back. I've been D-line. I used to play running back before, and then they moved me to defensive line just because I was one of the stronger kids and they needed them there. And I called my coach before this junior season, and I was telling him, hey, I'm going to running back camps this summer, and I'm going to prove myself to y'all. And so I went to A&M, UT, TCU camps. I really honed in on my skills. And they were kind of shocked of actually what I was able to do and produce. And they had hesitation throughout the season. They only played me for about half the season. But I played like it was my last chance I had. I finished the season as a starter for running back. And I had the most yards per carry for all the running backs, and the most touchdowns of all the running backs.
Okay. You mentioned adversity, which is always something the coaches want to talk about. You mentioned that, but go into a little more detail. Tell us about a time in your life, either personally or involving football, where you had to overcome some type of adversity.
I think the story I just said was probably one of the biggest ones that hit heart with me. Just seeing all the coaches being able to choose other players that I know and I felt like I had the same or better skill set that they had. And just me hearing no the entire season until the very end, it felt like an accomplishment to me at the very end. So.
Well, that kind of adversity is a great character trait to being a leader. Talk to me about how you define leadership and how you lead your team at Regents.
I define leadership as being very vocal as a player. I'm always encouraging my players to get in the weight room or just play as hard as they can. Last year and the year before that, I received awards for hardest working in the off season and most improved player and being a leader. So I think that's one of the biggest mindsets that I have going in this next year, especially as a senior.
As a leader on a team, as a senior, what are you doing to help those underclassmen that are coming up, those freshmen and sophomores? Give us some examples of that.
We have some group chats going with all age classes, and we're sending workouts and we're telling them to come throw catch with us, and we're really bringing them into this program because they'll soon be the top dogs of the program.
Okay. Let's fast forward to next season, the big game. It's pregame. What do you listen to in your playlist? What kind of music, what kind of artists you listen to get you hyped before a game?
I'll listen to a little bit of Lil Wayne, and then I'll kick it a little old school and go a little AC/DC.
Okay.
So a little bit of rock and a little bit of rap. So.
All right, nothing wrong with that. Tell me, you're kind of an underrated recruit in the class 21. Who are some of the other under-recruited athletes either on your team that you've played against that you say, hey, college coaches, you need to take a look at this kid?
I definitely think my offensive lineman, Jacob Botaw, I know he's been working his tail off season and during the season. He's the number one offensive lineman that I follow behind. I really model his work ethic. So that's probably my biggest person, I believe.
Okay. Anybody else that you've played against, you say, man, that linebacker, that safety was pretty good also, or D lineman?
For the Second Baptist, I can't remember his name right now, but he was the D lineman for Second Baptist, and he is phenomenal and putting all the work in he can.
Okay. Talk to me a little bit. So you're, like I said, you're one of my first players who plays taps. Obviously, you've seen public school games, 4A, 5A, 6K. Talk about the difference that you see, even though you've played taps your entire high school career. Tell me about the differences that you see between public and private school football.
Pretty much the only difference that I've been able to notice is after the games or before the games, we might pray together as a team because we all believe in the same God. I really think that I can't really say much about public school, but I feel like that community is there between us and our entire division. So.
Okay. Other than your family, who else has had a major influence, had a positive impact in your life and your success right now?
Most of my friends, they're all with me and encouraging me as I am with them. And also my girlfriend, she's keeping me straight with everything. And I really believe that all my friends and just me, we're all tight-knit, and that's probably the biggest motivation they have of me.
So based on your family and your friends, I always like to ask the question, let's fast forward through 4 years of college and you were at the NFL draft. Who's at your table waiting for your name to be called by the commissioner?
Definitely my family members, my mom, my dad, my sister, and then probably my girlfriend, Hannah.
Okay. I like it. Keep it honest. Simple question. Why do you think your game translates to the college level?
I think my ability to be powerful and keep moving and my vision. I think those two things are going to be carrying in the college level, especially vision, because when we get to that collegiate level, we're all players at that point, and it's the only thing that can carry us through is our mental game.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about if you're a good athlete, obviously, what other sports have you played at Regents? Were you a basketball, baseball? Do you run track? Tell me a little bit about things away from football.
I did soccer freshman year, and I did track sophomore and freshman year as well. So,
okay. Were you running track this year before COVID-19 shut everything down?
I was not. I decided to just stay in football off season and just conditioned with my football coach.
Okay. Okay. Tell me about what you do to give back in the community. I know you're heavily involved with your church. You mentioned that. What are there any other things you're doing to kind of give back in your neighborhood?
I think my parents did this very well when I was younger. We started working with a nonprofit called Mobilos and Fishes, and it's pretty much making sandwiches for the homeless back in when I was before middle school. And then when I was in middle school, I started working in the church ministry at my church, just giving back and helping out with the youth and getting them to learn more about God. So,
All right, I like it. Learning style is also very important for college coaches to figure out. Tell us what type of learning style is best for you, both in the classroom and on the field. Are you a visual guy? Are you a verbal guy? Or are you a physical guy?
I definitely feel like physical and verbal. Physical, I love taking the steps like in the field with my coaches. That's how I feel like I get mental memory of that. And then with school, I'll download audiobooks and read along with it in my book. So both of those are probably the two main things that I do.
Okay. Let's fast forward. Life after football, either after graduation or God forbid you get injured. What do you want to do after your football career is over, whenever that is?
I would love to be a CEO of a company. Don't really know yet what that company would be, but I'd love to be the best as I could in whatever I do.
Okay. And then we talked about your favorite subject of chemistry, but what do you plan on majoring in at the college level?
I think I'm going to major in business or an economics or marketing degree.
Okay, sounds good. Last thing, tell me about sacrificing as a football player. What are some of the things you've given up as a teenager to make sure you were going to be successful as a student athlete?
Definitely my time, my spare time. I use that to either study or working out, especially like on the weekends as well. I'm waking up and working out and spend most of my mornings doing that. So I feel like that's probably the biggest time, and the time's precious, as we know.
Yeah. Hey, and finishing up here, and I do appreciate your time. We have a term called an elevator pitch. 30 seconds of you in front of the head coach of one of your favorite schools that you want to hear from. Tell us in 30 seconds why they should recruit you and about who Trevor Tezak is as a student athlete.
I think Trevor Tezak is hardworking. I believe he believes that hard work and manners carries him farther than anything else would. And he will not quit until someone tells him to quit.
That's good stuff, man. Well, Trevor, I look forward to seeing you on the field this fall. Please continue to be safe and practice social distancing. If you ever need anything, please reach out to me and tell your family I said hello.
Yes, sir.
All right, have a good day.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.